utterly apparent to me the most intact ACL in the city of Baton Rouge at the current moment currently rests with LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. Nevertheless, we're live. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages, you're watching us, listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Day 9 of LSU football practice was underway today. We were able to make our way out there. We will break all of that down from the beginning to end. About a two and a half hour practice, maybe, I guess. Today for the Tigers, we'll break it down. A lot of 11 on 11 periods, a lot of ones versus ones, getting a very, very good look of how this team is starting to come together. We will break all of that down as we do every one of these practice reports. If it's your first time joining us, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. We greatly appreciate you doing that. You can become a member on YouTube. All the content that will be released, you can get it an hour earlier if you become a member there. But a couple of things we'll do. We'll break down the entire practice of day 9. We'll talk about Garrett to start it off here and the things that we saw before we get rolling into this practice report. And as we do, always, we'll get to observations and opinions. And if you send in super chats, you send in comments at the end of the show, we'll try to get to as many of those tonight here as we can. But day 9, very hot and intense day. Guys did look a little at the end there. I don't want to say sluggish, but it looked like that they had been out there for 7 out of the last 9 days. And they or 9 of the last 11 days, I should say, excuse me. They looked, especially receiver, that they could use a day off, which they will get tomorrow. So we'll break all that down. Jerry is in the 512 Houston. Stand up, says Dripping Springs, Texas. I guess you got to wear drippy clothes to be there. If you're dripping, well, I'm going to be quiet. You can't, if you're a lady, you probably can't live in Dripping Springs. Jay Smack says Blake Ruffino is the best from the 337. The best. Glad that you think so. I appreciate that you think so. Thank you so much for being into the show. But Texas and the 337 in the building here. Randy Jones says Oakdale is representing 100. Good to have you in here with us as well. Oakdale. A couple of Oakdales in here. You got to love it. Goat is in the 806. Lubbock, Texas is in the building. Yeah, Lubbock, man. Listen, the Texas Tech Red Raiders continue to recruit at a very high level. And looks like with the money that they are going to spend in recruiting that they are going to continue to recruit at a very high level. Andrew says on YouTube, how did the offensive line look today, and what in the hell are we going to do at running back? We currently don't have enough bodies in that room. Well, wait for the practice report, and we will definitely get that to you here today. Vic Nettles is in Pensacola, Florida, showing love. Good to have you in here, Vic. Yeah, Pensacola, beautiful, beautiful place to live. Got some minor league baseball that you could go to. Got the beach you could go to. Very, very beautiful this time of year as well. By the way, Vic, be careful. I read a report yesterday. The jellyfish are out there. Hashtag SpongeBob. So be careful out there. Ken Mallory's in the 205 Beham, Alabama, in this hoe. Let's go. Good to have Birmingham, Alabama in the building. Speak of a very nice place to live. It's where the SEC offices are. Hopefully the SEC gives LSU some calls this year because they might need it along the offensive line. Christopher in the 501 via the 318. 3-1 great. Yeah, I got to say this, the 318, I tell y'all this every 9 to 10 days or so after a month. I think the day's the 9th, isn't it? But the 318, 3-1 great continuing to destroy the listens on the audio podcast side of things. AYS remains number 1 on the Apple side of things when it comes to LSU. It's because you great people in the 318. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Our good buddy George Sill says, let's hear some good info. I thought it was a good practice today, and I think that you will hear some good info outside of 7-on-7 work today, which receivers got their asses absolutely chewed. I mean, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's just 100% the truth. Alexander Taylor says, I think JT Lindsey stuff will get resolved. He only had $5,000 bond, but likely be suspended a whole year. All right, let's get into JT Lindsey because we were not live when that happened. In case you missed it, LSU freshman running back out of Alexandria, JT Lindsey, was arrested yesterday for accessory after the fact in reference to allowing two gentlemen to stay at his dorm room after they committed a homicide, allegedly. All of this being alleged. They were found in Lindsey's dorm room. Multiple firearms were found on scene. Not good. If you're asking me, unless the DA drops the case on JT, which if I'm assuming because he was accessory of the fact in Baton Rouge, that DA Helen Moore will get the case. And does he drop it? Does he not? Per Wilson Alexander, the advocate, as we all probably expected, JT Lindsey has been suspended indefinitely because he does have this charge on him. I don't have any opinion of the matter. I think it's very difficult for me to get to a couple of places. Like, number one, if they had been what the report said, Chris Nakamoto of WAFB reporting, if they had been staying in his dorm room since July, what was the reasoning that they told you that they were staying there since July? That's number one. Number two, it is a very big offense to have that level of firearms on a college campus. It is against the law. And listen, I am a gun advocate. I think, I fully support the Second Amendment for everybody in the United States. Just can't bring it on campus. I mean, I hate to say that, but it is against the law, and there you go. I just think JT's got a lot of explaining he's got to do. You are innocent until proven guilty. The other part in this that I would say that's a little bit interesting to me is, if they were there from July, that's one thing. If the last 3 weeks, LSU players have been staying in a hotel room. Guys, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago legitimately is middle in July. So did they say, hey, man, can we crash at your place until we find our own place? I don't know. A lot of stuff going on. We'll see what happens. Do I think that there might have been a little bit of rush to judgment? Potentially. But man, when the U.S. Marshals come down on you, they come down on you. So we'll see. I hate it. I guess from a football side of things, what I'd say is pretty simple. You are down to 3 scholarship running backs. I don't necessarily personally see it like that. I still think that if complete worst case scenario happened, Juwan Johnson will get put in that role, and he would be your 4th scholarship running back. We're going to talk about that running back position a lot here tonight because of it. I was waiting for it until the end, but, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, it is what it is. So we'll see. Maybe you can, as Alexander says, put Xavier Thomas, move him to running back. I mean, he's got a decision he's got to make. Does Xavier. Redwood is in the 352 Tampa, Florida here. Go Tigers. Good to have you in here, Redwood. But yes, interesting. I don't know all of the ins and outs of this entire situation, but it is very it's just so wild. I mean, listen, the only thing that I would say to young athletes, especially young LSU athletes, is this. Everybody around you wants to bring you down. I mean, they want to bring you back to their level. Sometimes, and was probably the hardest thing that some people can hear, myself included when I was younger, is if the people around you do not give you any value or growth, get away from them. Get away from them. They can call you whatever they want to call you, but the bottom line is some people from your hometown, and a lot of these Louisiana towns are small towns. They don't care about your well-being. They don't. And those young men should have never put him in that situation. And if they did do it, then you're ending somebody else's life. I will say this. I understand. I completely understand the thought process of quote unquote not ratting someone out, quote unquote. Y'all do some crazy shit and you try to get me involved in it, I'm ratting you out. Call me whatever you want, but I got 2 kids and I have a loving wife that I have to protect. And ain't none of you going to bring that down because you did something stupid. There's nobody, and I mean nobody outside of my family that I'm not going to protect. No one. I love all of you. But to all of you young athletes, stay away from these people. Trey Holly, I think the Trey Holly case is even worse if we're being honest. I think the police know and the DA knows what's actually going on here, and he refuses and they refuse to do the right thing. The JT Lindsay thing, for what it's worth at the current moment, based off of the information that we know, seems to me a little bit worse, to be honest with you. I mean, eyewitness testimony, eyewitnesses will lie through their teeth all the live long day. What doesn't lie is when you have concrete evidence. And they had concrete evidence. Guys, the U.S. Marshals don't play around. They just don't play around. So it sucks. You got to figure something out at running back. But none of these dudes that when they do something stupid have your best interest at heart. None of them. And that's the bottom line truth. They just don't have your interest at heart. So to JT, guys, the truth of the matter is he might not know anything. And for that, I feel sorry for him. He may have known something. And he might felt like that he needed to be a part of the code of not ratting. But with all due respect to all of you and to anybody that's out there, this young man has a career that he can separate and set up his family than anything that some of us can do. Guys, just to let you understand something very quickly, and think about this for just a second. Guys, with TV revenue money, some of these guys, just based off of being on scholarship, are set to make, starting at the end of August, a $200,000 between the months of August and December because of TV revenue money. Majority of them are going to be making that level of money. Not all of them, but majority of them. Guys, you're going to be bringing in over $15,000 a month, some of them, and you letting some Rudy Poo who did something stupid, allegedly, bring you down. Cut them off. Cut them off. I mean, it's the craziest thing ever. But don't allow somebody else's actions bring you down when you did nothing. Every one of you can go out there and do whatever you want. I hope none of you commit murder. I hope none of you break laws. But the bottom line is if you come to me with it personally, I'm calling 1-800, call the police. I'm snitching on your ass. And you can call it whatever you want. But the bottom line is I got things that I'm supposed to protect because it's my duty. You trying to bring other men down makes you a coward. Quite honestly, it makes you a coward. So let's see what happens in this JT Lindsay thing. The bottom line is, let's see how it all goes out. I don't know if he plays all year. On field, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Let's get to it. By the way, guys, an 18-year-old kid was about to make $200,000 in the next couple of months. Guys, imagine if I gave you an influx of $15,000 cash over the next 6 months. Every month. Even if we netted it. Let's say you netted 10 grand. Get out of my face. Get out of my face with that shit. You need to cut all. You don't forget about the people that got you there, right? I'm not saying that when you become a college athlete, NFL athlete, that you forget about the people that brought you there. But if the people that brought you there are doing stupid shit, you cut them off quicker than the umbilical cord when a baby's born. You get them out of there. because they're not there for you. They're there for themselves to protect themselves. It's the most cowardice act that someone can do, legitimately. So don't come at me with that bullshit. I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right, let's get moving here. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let me get to a quick break. And every episode, by the way, before we get to that break, is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Guys, Garrett is a plus 900 as a Heisman Trophy odds winner. LSU is plus 1,100 to win the SEC, plus 700 to make it to the college football playoff. Do you believe that LSU can do all three of those things? If you do believe that, every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go right over there and place that bet. I'd also tell you this. If you have a problem, go call 1-800-GAMBLER or go over to FanDuel.com/RG. That's FanDuel.com/RG so that they can assist you in those needs. Again, FanDuel today, I know that a lot of people are already starting to place these bets. The time has never been better. After what Caden Durham did today, I might sprinkle a little bit something on Caden Durham. That's just me. But regardless of that, go over to FanDuel at any given moment. All right, let's get to it. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we got lots to discuss. We break down practice, day 9. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red.
We're back.
All right. Let's get to it here. Day 9 LSU football practice was underway today, and we were there. Obviously, I thought there'd be more media members out there than what it was, mainly due to the fact to check on Garrett Nussmeier's knee. But nevertheless, we were out there. I thought there'd be more. There actually wasn't. But let's get off to it and start in this, because I know all of you want to know. Garrett was a full participant at practice today. He went through every drill. He went through every 1-on-1. He went through every 7-on-7. He went through all 11-on-11. There were some times at the end of practice that I think that his knee brace was giving him issues. And listen, as someone who's warned them after patellar tendon graft for an ACL, they're the most uncomfortable things on the face of the planet, especially if they're too tight. He looked a little uncomfortable early. You could tell that he was uncomfortable with it, constantly adjusting it. Looked like it was very painful to him, and the sides of your knee will get very, very tender very quickly the longer that you wear it. Hopefully they can find something a little bit different for him, but Garrett Nussmeier did have a brace with the little turn sides on both sides on his left knee. The interesting part of this for me was early when we got out there is that he was the only person that I watched for the first 5 minutes. Wanted to see how he moved, wanted to see how he acted, wanted to see if he ran, and if he did run, was it a light jog? Is he running? Is he looking normal, so to speak, than what he normally looks like? And guys, for what it's worth, I thought early in practice, and as the day went on, maybe a little bit not as much, but he looked fine. But he was the full participant. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know in reference to why they changed some things up. Maybe he didn't go all day yesterday, which from what I was told, he did not go all day yesterday. He did some one-on-one stuff, some 7-on-7 stuff, but outside of that, he didn't really do much. Just let the thing rest. Guys, but from what it's worth, I don't think they would have put Garrett Nussmeier out there if it was serious at all. He certainly had a brace on it. I'm sure today at some point he's gotten rehab on it, and it looked like the brace was very painful. There were today, just so we're going to talk about it, when we talk about him running, scrambling at any given point today, for me, I think outside of there was one time he limped, then he kind of took the brace off. It just looked like it was very uncomfortable. I don't think it had anything to do with the structure of the knee. Again, if you wear those stupid things, you know, especially if you've had a patellar tendon graft and how it's covered and how the sidebars are, they're absolutely atrocious. He was walking fine as soon as the knee brace came down a little bit, and it was readjusted. Every time he ran, scrambled, rolled out, to me, he looked fine. I don't think that there was one thing that I saw today that was like, man, he looked slow. Now, what I will say is through the first 7 days that we saw, I thought that there were a lot of times during practices when pressure was around Garrett without missing a beat, and something that he's really worked on that he looked good in doing. Today, he would step up in the pocket and really rifle one. Today, he didn't do that. Today, he was rolling left and right. He didn't want no part of it. I understand not getting yourself in that mix, not going into that fire. Somebody accidentally hit your knee, then we got a whole different thing of problems. The bottom line remains, I thought he was a little timid early, to be real with you. As the day went on, I thought there were a couple times he could have stood up in the pocket, kind of climbed the pocket a little bit, forced the ball down the field. There was a post route later in 11-on-11 that Chris Hilton ran where he beats the corner and the safety, that if he gets up in that pocket and he lets that hoe rip, that's a tutty. Chris has probably got 3 steps on the both of them. It would have been 6. Scrambles left. The scramble was fine. So even in missing the post, you got to see him run a little bit. And for that, I thought that you got to a place and situation where, all right, he looked fine. Guys, later on in the practice, he scrambled, looked fine, ran for about 7 yards and got out of bounds. I mean, every time we're going to talk about it today, he was fine. He went to full practice, kind of like what Brian Kelly said that he was going to do. I don't know what to make of it other than he looked fine, really. I mean, is it something we got to constantly monitor? Yeah, it is something that we constantly need to monitor here. But I thought he looked fine. In the practice notes, when we talk about standouts, people that stood out to me today, I would have put Garrett in there for what it's worth. I thought he looked fine, right? I thought he looked good. I don't think that his plant knee, which the left knee being his plant knee, nothing looked off to me, really. Nothing viciously looked off to me. Thought he looked good, and he was ready to go. Did think he was a little bit timid to climb up in that pocket, and quite honestly, with the way that the rush has been the last couple of days, I quite honestly don't blame him. All right, let's get to the main part of practice. But so we all have that context here. Guys, every day that we're out there and they go through drill work, we're not breaking things down during drills. What we do here, a lot of you know this, guys that stood out to me today. I thought Don McKinley and Bernard Gooden today for me in individual drill works looked really good along the defensive line. I think when everybody was focusing on Garrett and there was a lot of tension on this offense, that the defense is like, we just get to get in some work. This is great. I constantly am hearing, though, and why these two young men stood out to me today was because I keep hearing Kyle Williams, almost said Kyle Parker, but I keep hearing Kyle Williams tell Don McKinley and tell Bernard Gooden screaming in excitement of how good their technique looked. If Don McKinley, who Brian Kelly said was one of the stronger players on this team, I'm looking for my pen, but one of the stronger players on this team, if he gets the technique down and he constantly uses that technique, I think he's going to be very hard to stop. Bernard Gooden, who is an undersized defensive tackle, has not played that way. Made some plays today that flushed Garrett a couple of times to get him outside of that pocket. But I hear a coach from what he wants to see with Don McKinley. And listen, he could easily be trying to boost this young man's self-esteem. But I do think if Kyle thought that 96 and Don McKinley was having bad reps, was taking bad reps, and wasn't using right technique, that he would tell him, because he does it to everybody else. He's been on Sadir Mitchell's ass more than anybody. And I know, for what it's worth, there hasn't been a lot of talk about 99, who, by the way, got his most action today by any stretch of the imagination that we've seen. Big Sadir Mitchell got into the game, or I say got into the game, but got into practice a lot today. There was a lot of chit-chat and a lot of talk between 99 and Kyle Williams today. I think as this camp has started to go on, we're going to see some guys start getting some more reps. And when there's situational stuff going on, especially at the goal line, which we'll talk about today too, which LSU went on, 99 was in there. But I think Bernard Gooden and Don McKinley stood out to me. Braylon Moore, the center, because he is 6 foot, 6'1", 300 pounds, 290 pounds, whatever he is. Brian Kelly compared him to Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelsey. I'm not going to go that far. I think that's a bit extreme. But I also think that the best offensive lineman in camp so far that you've had has been your center. I think that how quickly he can get to the second level has been highly impressive. And when he's gotten to the second level, how good he's been at the second level. Today, they worked on a lot of reps getting to the second level. The thing that I think is interesting, and when I focused in on it a lot today, those guards, if you're not getting off the ball quickly, 61's not waiting on your ass to do your job. You're going to have to do your job quickly, and you got to get moving. I do think that Braylon Moore, for what it's worth, is fast enough and quick enough to get to the second level, besides leaving as early as he's been doing on some of this run game zone stuff. He's got to get a really nice punch. So let's say we're running right. You got to run zone right. Let's just say you have a 3 technique, a defensive tackle outside the shoulder of the guard. He's the only person that has any momentum going left for one thing. I think Moore's got to be better at getting a jab off on these defensive tackles to give the guard a little bit more time to get over in some of these run plays. The thing that does stand out to me, though, is how quickly 61 can get to that second level. And, guys, when the guards have been able to do some good things up front and get there quick enough, that's when the explosive plays have happened right behind 61. I like what I see from Braylon Moore. Needs to get a little bit better with getting some of those jabs off. Look, quick jab. Punch him like you're Muhammad Ali. Get up on that rope-a-dope, hit him with a quick jab, get to that second level, let your guard get there. He's very explosive for a center, and I'll give him that. Last but not least, in drill work is Caden Durham. Guys, Caden Durham, for me, the second-year sophomore running back, I mean, listen, the explosiveness is back. 29 can really move it. He can really move. I just think if you, again, I will continue to say this, he just continues to stand out to me. Now, today, He made some absolutely ridiculous cuts and some ridiculous plays. We did not know what we were going to see from 29 today until we went out there and saw it. Today's day is owned by number 29. I think that some of the things that he did to bail this offense out was legendary, to be honest. To be honest with you. The toes are fine. You can tell that he's not hurt, and he's fully there. I pray to God in the name of the Father and Son and Holy Ghost. I pray to sweet baby Jesus above. One of these other running backs has got to break out too, because you need to spell, I don't want to say as much as you can, but we need to be able to spell 29 and not put the entire workload on him. Caleb Jackson, Harlem Berry, Jawan Johnson. Yes, you heard that correct. They got to start being bigger. The problem in this camp with Caleb Jackson, guys, 28 has had zero time to really get a good view on him running with the second team. I do think that Harlem Berry is starting to come along, but he's having a lot of freshman moments right now too. Caden Durham is your bona fide back, and God bless Captain America if he goes down. But I will say that the explosiveness is there. All right. So LSU opened up the day in non-individual drills, ones versus ones in a run game period. In case it's your first time, I'll quickly explain what I consider or they are doing when we talk about run game period. They have a center guard and tackle on one side and a center guard and tackle on the right side. You have a run left and a run right. Guys, Caden Durham led off the run game period by getting a seam, hitting that seam at a high level, and taking one to the house untouched. I thought DJ Chester in these early run game periods looked really good. I thought he, quite honestly, looked phenomenal. There were multiple times today where Caden Durham found a seam and hit it at an alarming rate and got 6. I thought early in the day the offense stood strong. I thought Josh Thompson and I thought that DJ Chester really came to play ball early on in the day, and they got to the second level very effectively. Harold Perkins from the star role tried to come down and make a play on Caden Durham, which was picked up by DJ Chester on one of the touchdown runs. Josh Thompson getting a really good push on Don McKinley to get to the second level, and Bernard Gooden on the other side by Braylon Moore. They were able to get 2 really good reps and really good blocks, found a seam, and he took 2 to the house. Jamari Butler, the edge rusher from Nebraska, made a kind of a scene today, plugging a couple of holes in some of these run games. Kind of a tweener, really. We've seen Jamari Butler line up in the 3 technique on pass rush downs. We've seen him line up at edge, but there were a couple times today. He came off the edge very fast. Tackles couldn't get to him, and he would get in the backfield for a couple of tackles for loss. Another guy that had a tackle for loss in this run game period was Dylan Carpenter, number 97. The tackles just know it's coming, and I think it's been really difficult. What I would say is in some of these run game periods that's been very interesting, I thought all of the edge guys have done a really good job of setting the edge, forcing running backs to try to cut one back inside, and there's nowhere to go, and they get a tackle for loss. Really and truthfully, I think one thing about this edge unit that has stood out versus last year, and even last year during games, not just camp, they have done a very phenomenal job at being able to set a very physical edge with Jack Pyburn, Jamari Butler. I think Gabe Rutherford's looked very well, and Patrick Payton. Those 4 rotating into those spots have done a phenomenal job at setting the edge. But a couple of big runs by Caden Durham with the ones. Sadir Mitchell would come in these 1v1s as well. And guys, he's just a force. Sadir Mitchell was able to hold on to a double team, make a very, very big stop for no gain on Caden Durham. Caden Durham tried to cut back right. Big 99 was there to tell him, not today, big man. Not today, little man. I got you. If 99's in the game, man, I've seen him eat a lot of double teams, and nobody on your team right now, doesn't mean that somebody on some other team can't do this, but nobody on your team really moves 99 like that. He eats blocks, man. And I think today in this run game period, later on in goal line, when he got put in there, he just ate blocks and wouldn't let the center or guard get to the second level, and good on him. But a big stop and a big clog the middle for number 99. Harlem Berry gets in with one first-team rep, found a seam, and back-to-back plays. One of them, I think they thought that I don't know what they were doing there, but they made him do it again. Back-to-back times, Harlem Berry found a seam on a cutback, took one for touchdowns. Braylon Moore blocks on the second level. Whit Weeks, Harold Perkins on both of these didn't really have a chance. Braylon Moore got to the second level. Harlem Berry found seams on both of them and took it to the hizzy. So let's stop right here on run game for just a moment. I don't know what it means, but in reference to any run game period, I thought it was the best that this offensive line looked. There was a lot of celebration from Joe Sloan, Brian Kelly, Brad Davis, and this offensive staff with Alex Atkins and others. Looked really good doing it. By far the best period that they've had all camp came today. Run game, O-line versus D-line, guys in 9 reps. This offensive line and pass pro lost 1. Don McKinley did beat DJ Chester on one of them, but the other 8, DJ Chester and company were able to hold up and stand firm. But Sadir Mitchell being another one today, being very good inside the interior was a big deal. But O-line was the best run game period that they've had all camp. Not remotely close. Not even close to being remotely close. It was. Looked good. They really brought it today. On the other side of the run game period was some 1v1s, receivers versus DBs. Xavion Thomas out wide on a fade route. Ashton Stamps slips out of his break, which gives Xavion Thomas the clear rep to be able to get it. Call it what it is. The kid slipped. It is what it is, but got to keep your footing. He does slip, but a fade route to Xavion Thomas goes for 6 to open up these one-on-ones. Bauer Sharp on an out route for about 7 to Jordan Gilbert. Hitch route to Chris Hilton was intercepted by Mansour Delane. Gus, I still think right now, for what it's worth, both of your boundary corners were as such. When you went in serious one-on-one situations, the far boundary outside corner was Mansour Delane to the left. To the right, you had Ashton Stamps. Different formations, different situations, those guys would flip. There have been some situations where Mansour and Ashton Stamps today, with the second team, when they needed a second team slot guy, Ashton Stamps has been inside in that slot now as well. Beautiful route by Chris. Mansour Delane knew the hitch was coming and picked it off. Dove and picked it off right in front of Chris Hilton. Was a really good play by Mansour Delane. Fade route to Xavion Thomas. Michael Turner on the PBU. Man, this Michael Turner kid, I have no clue if Michael Turner is going to play this year. And if he does, I don't know the significance of it, considering how deep that room is. 21 can flat out fly. I'm not saying that he's going to take any reps from these guys, but I'm constantly keeping my eyes on 21. He can just, he's got burners for days, man. But a really nice route by Xavion, just completely ate up by a guy with elite speed. And that completely is Michael Turner. Got his head turned with a really good PBU. Nick Anderson slips on a hitch route. Jakeem Jackson dives and gets an interception. So some early footing issues, one going the offense's way on the Xavion Thomas fade. This one where Nick Anderson slips on a hitch route. You got a diving interception. Still a fantastic play by Jakeem Jackson to able to get an interception. Guys, let me stop right here for just a moment. I know it's 1 versus 1s, I know that in the grand scheme of things, going through a 1v1 period means absolutely nothing. I'm going to tell you something that I know for a bona fide fact because I was out there. In 2023 and 2024, and go back to any practice report that you would like from those seasons, every time they went one-on-one, in these wide receiver DB situations, I ain't never seen interceptions like this, ever. It's 2, but normally you got your ass roasted. I got to give Mansour Delane and Ashton Stamps and Jakeem Jackson some credit. I don't know how they're going to rotate that in and out of there. Along with P.J. Woodland, I think Jakeem Jackson and P.J. Woodland are battling to be that third corner right now. We'll see how that plays out. But, guys, 2 out of the last 3 plays, you got 2 interceptions, both thrown by Garrett Nussmeier. And I don't think either one of them were on really Nuss. I think that in those pair of interceptions, you have a very experienced DB in Mansour Delane getting the interception, and Nick Anderson slips. And you get an interception on a dive by Jakeem Jackson. Because you just haven't really seen that level of competitiveness and intentiveness and awareness. There's a lot of nisses, but you have not had that ever. Sorry. Last time I remember that was Mekhi Garner and Jared Bernard-Converse making plays like that. I don't think you've been good on the boundary. I don't think you've been good in your secondary. And right now, for what it's worth, I think your secondary has really picked up at safety as well, too. Barryon Brown on a slant gets tackled immediately after 4 by DJ Pickett. Really good play by DJ. Nick Anderson. Oh, we talked about that one. I went back. Stamps gets a pass broken up on Teron Francis. Fade route by Teron Francis. Number 1 gets his head turned on the far left boundary and bats the ball away. Really good stuff. Donovan Green on an in route. It gets broken up in a PBU by CJ Jim Coyley. Guys, the young freshman star position, not like he's a superstar, but it certainly well could be. I got to be real. CJ Jim Coyley continues to make plays. 6'3", 220 pounds is what they have. 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds, whatever they have him listed at. CJ Jim Coyley can play. He can play. Guys, this kid, number 31's been making plays all over the place. Either number 1, he knows what's coming. Number 2, he's just not going up against, he's going up against the 2s and he's better than them. This kid, CJ Jim Coyley, can play. He just keeps going out there making plays. Again, don't know what to make of it. Does he just know what's coming? I don't know. But regardless if he knows what's coming or not, we're just going to go with it. He's been making plays all camp because he has been. Phillip Wright on a quarter route gets absolutely blown up by P.J. Woodland. I mean, P.J. Woodland and Jakeem Jackson continue to battle, but a corner route perfectly timed by P.J. Woodland. Referees were out there. They did not throw the flag. Really good pass breakup by P.J. Woodland. Parker on a quick out stopped by Jordan Gilbert for about 3. And then an out route by Bauer Sharp, which Harold Perkins was able to knock away. Boy, Perkins has been talking some shit now. He's been talking some shit. I told you this once, I'll tell you again. I don't know if this is going to translate into games for Harold Perkins or he's just pissed off at Bauer Sharp. I don't know. I don't care what anybody's telling me. I know that some of these situations for Bauer Sharp, who I do think's had a really, really, really good camp. Bauer Sharp has had a very good camp. We hadn't talked a lot about him on this show. 10 has had an exceptional camp. But every single time that he is lined up with number 7, he ain't catching shit. He ain't catching a damn thing. He couldn't catch a cold buck-ass nude in a snowstorm in the middle of Antarctica in December. He ain't catching shit, and it ain't got nothing to do with him. Really. Perkins just owned him like white on rice on a paper plate in a snowstorm. He's all over him. He's kind of like me. I'm not going to say that because y'all going to think I'm crazy. But when my wife wears something, nice, I'm all over it too. Park ain't letting that man go nowhere. That is a bona fide fact. I've seen some things about people talking about Bauer Sharp. Every time that the star position with Harold Perkins and any one of these tight ends goes on, like what happened in the last practice that we were out there where he gets off a block from Trey'Dez Green and tackles Bauer Sharp at the line of scrimmage, I'm telling you, when 7 is on these tight ends, they ain't getting to shit. Perkins been on one, man. Is this the year? Is this the year? But the bottom line remains, Harold Perkins keeps standing out. Guys, we have no clue. I have no clue what number 7 is going to do. Here's the thing I 1,000% know. Ain't none of them tight ends done shit all camp when he's on them. So what is 7 going to be? I hope he wrecks everybody's shit. But the bottom line remains, number 7 can't come off the field right now. I keep hearing a lot of people in the media. By the way, if you're not at camp, don't, for the love of God, it's a pet peeve of mine. Don't go out there talking shit about shit you don't know about. That I saw 3 of it today. Don't do that. But because I don't do that. If I'm not there, we tell you we're not there. I'm telling you that 7 has been all over the place. I hope it's this year. I hope it's the year for him because he's been really good. But a PBU on an out route to Bauer Sharp, I got to be real with you. I was screaming ball at Perkins when the ball was in the air when he was covering Bauer Sharp, got his head turned, and he knocked it away. I thought I kind of chirped at Perk when he was running down the sidelines. I was like, man, get your head turned, pick that off. Maybe I got a little bit of a giggle. But regardless of that, he looks good, man. He could have picked that one off. Slant route, bad throw behind the receiver to Barrion Brown. It was Nuss that made. I mean, it's a slant route, guys. It was one throw. Missing yesterday. Nuss just getting out there. I don't know. Slant route, back shoulder, missed Barrion Brown. It hits the right hip of DJ Pickett. Almost got picked. Quick slant by Jelani Watkins is on the slant, is dropped. Spears on Tyron Francis, and then Spears again on Trey'Dez Green. An in route and an out route. The out route from Francis was incomplete by Michael Van Buren, and the in route by Trey'Dez Green was a PBU by Spears. And let me tell you something right now. The entire defense erupted coaching staff-wise. Sam Petito, who was standing behind it, Blake Baker, and then Corey Raymond and Jake Olson, who are all in that order in that space. They all freaked out. I'm going to tell you right now, based off of what I've been hearing on the sidelines, just hearing Blake Baker chirp, Jake Olson, Corey Raymond, all of them chirping. They like number 10. In observations and opinions, we're going to talk a lot about Deshaun Spears. Had a really, really good day. Brown, Wright, Thomas, Francis, and Nick Anderson, all in a row. I didn't write on the practice report. I didn't write the routes down, but I in the practice report on our message board. On here, I wrote them down. Brown ran an out route. Wright ran a fade route. Thomas ran an in route, and Francis ran a fade. Anderson ran a slant at the end of this. Every single one of those passes got dropped. I thought Garrett Nussmeier placed the ball. Well, the one to Barrion Brown was by Michael Van Buren, but the one to Wright, the one to Thomas, the one to Francis, and the one to Anderson, all were thrown by your starting quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. Every single one of those last reps were dropped. They had the receivers, for what it's worth, not named Chris Hilton, had a little case of the dropsies today. This end of the period would start a day of a lot of drops for the tight ends and the wide receivers. I will tell you this. I can tell, and listen, I don't make anything of this because I'm going to bring up a story to you in just a second. So stay with me. These receivers need a break. They need tomorrow off at a high level. And they don't need to get out their beds If they got girlfriends, I know Chris Hilton's with Flaugier. Flaugier, get some of the lady women's basketball team. Don't let them dudes do nothing. They look. There were times and situations where I thought that it started to wear on them a little bit. Guys that are running more than anybody that's out there. I remember in 2023, so stay with me. I remember vividly in 2023, there was a day after the first week before BK used to allow us to go to these scrimmages. It was the Friday before or Thursday before the scrimmage, and we were able to go to a full practice. In that scrimmage, the offense under Jane Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas was not a good one offensively. Actually, it was the worst one that they had all camp. They couldn't catch a cold either. Buck-ass noon, a snowstorm. They take a day off. The Friday they come back, and the Saturday they come back. They absolutely dominate the entire period in practice. Guys, they look exhausted. I mean, and good because they need to be. For me, I've said this once on practice reports. I'd say it again. You are a week plus in, and they look tired. They look like, hey, man, these receivers look tired and not necessarily. And let me explain what I mean by tired. They didn't look tired in the sense of physical. They looked like mentally they were kind of checked out a little. There was just a lot of lack of focus in points and times in that receiver room today. I will tell you this. I saw more drops today than the entire spring, entire part of fall camp already combined today. Just a lack of focus from them. So make of it what you will. It doesn't. If it happens again, like we go out there on Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is that we're allowed back out there for a full practice, if it happens again, fine. We'll sit here and we'll talk about it. Today, I'm chalking that up as, listen, man, you've been out there for 7 of the last 9 days. You're exhausted. You're in blistering heat. I get it. You've been running your asses off. The period was somewhat extended. Completely fine with me. Let's chalk it up to you having a bad day and go up about our business. Go up about our business. All right. So after the 1v1s and run game, we went to our first 11 on 11. And boy, was it a choppy one, to say the least. First play from the line of scrimmage, Tamarcus Cooley playing the free safety. Comes down on an outside zone run by Caden Durham and blows it up for a tackle for loss. Guys, they were going to the ground again. This isn't a situation where he's running up and touching them. Cooley comes up and makes a really good play. Really, really, really good play. This safety room's coming downhill now. They're coming downhill. 13-0 will run. They will run. I think Tamarcus in some situations has been out of position, but I've seen 10, I've seen 13, and I've seen 0 run up and make plays and make tackles. But that's how it starts off. I did not put this in the practice report. I had to get reminded about it by our friends at the media, but this was the second play. Inside dive, which Caden Durham reversed field. He would go take a inside dive. He would try to bust right. He couldn't. You had Patrick Payton that was there in his face. Caden Durham bounced to the outside. And Mansour Delane, Harold Perkins, and Tamarcus Cooley at the line of scrimmage run him down after reversing fields and were able to make a play for no gain. They're all over this shit right now. They were all over it. The safety room has done really well, coming down and making plays. Mansour Delane, for what it's worth, I thought was today and has been very physical in the run game. A guy that is a converted or has converted to safety when his teams needed him before. Four is going to come up and hit you in the run game. Ain't no pity bat shit with number 4. I'm going to tell you that. Caleb Jackson gets an inside dive for 4, gets hit at the line of scrimmage and just keeps his legs turning and gets 4 yards. Really good run by Caleb Jackson. Boy gets 4 yards. I don't care. He got hit at the line of scrimmage. Better be 2nd and 6 and 2nd and 10. Out route by Bauer Sharp. Harold Perkins out. Second star in the game. So the star position, the second in the game, in the practice, was not Jordan Gilbert. If you remember last week, Brian Kelly stated that Jordan Gilbert was getting moved to star. In the indoor facility in the beginning of practice, number 2 ran all of his reps, not with the safety room. He ran it with the selection of the guys that play star. Austin Osbury, Harold Perkins, CJ Jim Coyley, and CJ Ross. That has been Lance Guidry's room. The former DC from Miami, he has taken over that star room. CJ Jim Coyley running with the second unit. And in this situation, as the ones are still out there, Harold Perkins comes off, CJ Jim Coyley goes on. Out route by Bauer Sharp is broken up beautifully by CJ Jim Coyley. Beautiful coverage. Bauer goes out, runs right at him, goes on an out route to the sideline. CJ Jim Coyley has his hand on his hip, turns his head, bats it away. Sharp falls down, and here we go. 31 has been making plays, y'all. Plays. A lot of them at that star role. He looks really good. Maybe Frank Wilson did find a little bit of a gem here. Inside dive by Harlem Berry with the ones goes for no gain. 2 unit comes in. By the way, the no gain, Bernard Gooden. It's getting ridiculous at this point, y'all. It's getting ridiculous at this point what 88 does. They got him running with the ones, and they need to. 88 been making plays, man. I mean, it's just he's so quick off the damn ball. So quick off the damn ball. But he makes a tackle for no gain. Good on him. MVB comes in for Garrett, who kind of, again, I say limped off. He's messing with the brace. Brace goes down. He's walking normal. Brace look like it's really bothering him. MVB comes in, steps up in the pocket. No one's around him. Takes off for 14 yards before he gets touched. A.J. Halsey on the stop. Barry on an inside zone that goes for 12. A.J. Halsey coming all the way. A.J. Halsey comes down and over and lights up Harlem Berry. 13 will come down and tackle, man. I mean, I know it's a gain of 12. Second unit got a really good run. Good for them. DJ Chester was at center in that situation. But 13 going to hit you. He's going to hit you. But a really good run by Harlem Berry. Hit the hole really fast. And you got 12 yards. A.J. Halsey on the stop, making a really good play. If A.J. Halsey does not tackle Harlem Berry, who, by the way, Harlem can run, if he doesn't make the play, it's gone for 6. I ain't seen it. I'm going to be real with you. I ain't seen a safety tackle anybody. I ain't. And listen, we saw Nichols have a white dude come in here and run all over us. Safeties didn't make plays. 13 going to come up and tackle you, and you better be ready because he's coming to hurt you. So a really good play by him. That was the end of the first 11 on 11. Really quickly on offensive line. I was not over there. For a lot, I was able to see some of the stuff that they were doing. I wasn't over there for the second unit. I took a peek at the first unit. I got along with Koki Riley from The Advocate, who was over there. Koki and Matthew Brune of On 3, who were both over there, said that they felt as if that the only rep that was lost in offensive line and defensive line pass pro was Don McKinley beating DJ Chester. Didn't see it, didn't put it in the report, not going to sit here and talk about it. I really wanted to see, for me, in 7-on-7, I wanted to see as the day went on and Garrett Nussmeier was in here, how things were really looking. Right now, knowing that they're going on an 11-on-11 period, I'm really justifying to see what that whole 5 unit looks like when we're getting in 11-on-11. The pass pro right now, it feels like either it's going one way or another, and quite honestly, I don't have time for it anymore. I really don't. The offensive line's got to show me that we're going to make it competitive. Now, since Koki Riley said they only lost 1 rep, if we're back out there on Monday or whenever it is we're back out there, I'm going to make it a point to probably not neglect 7-on-7, but I think I'm going to neglect 7-on-7 and go watch the offensive line, defensive line, see if it's true, if they are holding up. But guys, the last three times we've done an offensive line, defensive line, pass pro situation, you remember all those reports. It was an ass whipping. It was a pure on ass whipping. So I'm not going to waste my time if it's just going to be an outright slaughter. Okay? Today it wasn't, per Cokie Riley and Matthew Broom. If that's the case, then we're going to make it our way back over there on Monday and see what happens. 7-on-7. I did put all of the second unit in here. Today, I'm not going to really go through it. What I would say is there was a play at the end. Jelani Watkins ran an in route from with Michael Van Buren as the quarterback. The route got dropped. Durham in the flat. It got dropped. Woodland on a PBU on an out route by Barrion Brown. I mean, you got a couple of drops, you got a PBU, and you got something in the flat that doesn't go for anything. Just wasn't productive at all. So the second unit, when we go, or the first unit, we'll read this off, but second unit just really couldn't get much going here. So let's get to the first team. Hilton on an in route for 14 in a zone. Jordan Gilbert makes the stop. I don't know who's supposed to be guarding him there. Trey'Dez Green on an out route onto Marcus Cooley goes for 12. Donovan Green on a stick route goes for 3. So starting off the period, really, really, really good. Chris Hilton was the only wide receiver today that did not record a drop on the plays that we saw here. Harlan Berry in the flat gets tackled by Mansour Delane for no gain. P.J. Woodland on a corner route on Xavion Thomas. Xavion Thomas is lined up in the slot. It appears that LSU is running corners. He runs a corner route. He comes in the inside the shoulder of Xavion Thomas, bats it away, and off we go. P.J. Woodland, and I'm telling you, 8 and 11 are competing their asses off to take that third corner spot, really. What we've seen is that Stamps or Mansour Delane are going to move inside the slot when Harold Perkins goes and does something else, and they go to, I guess, their nickel or true dime package. Harold's been on the edge on some of those dime packages too, with Patrick Payton being on the other edge. We'll see what happens there. 8 and 11 are battling. Let's see who wins. Let's see who wins that. But P.J. Woodland and 7-on-7 were really good PBU. A post route to Nick Anderson. I'm just going based off what the coaches said. They said, Aaron, where are you going? It looked like he was supposed to run a post. He didn't. He ran a fade. And the pass was almost intercepted by Ashton Stamps. Might be good that Nick Anderson did run the wrong route, because if Ashton Stamps, if he would have run that post route, which it appeared clearly where Nuss was throwing it, if he would have, because Stamps had to kind of wait a little bit to see what Anderson was doing before he ran to try to pick off the post route. Guys, I think it gets picked. Personally, I think it gets picked. But regardless of that, really good play by Ashton Stamps. Teron Francis on a hitch route that goes incomplete. I couldn't tell what really happened there. I thought at first he caught it, but it looked like he kind of juggled it. I did not count that as one of the 15 drops that I counted today. I don't know if he caught it. It looked like it went incomplete. I mean, it looks like he's trying to turn to catch the ball from his right hip. I really couldn't tell. But regardless, the ball was on the ground. Parker on a quick slant that gets dropped and then turns right around and runs a quick out, and then that gets dropped. Guys, too many drops in 1-on-1s and 7-on-7. No one had benefited more from Aaron Anderson being out, which Aaron Anderson went through. I should have led this off too. Aaron Anderson did not go in 1v1s and 2v2s. He didn't go in 7-on-7, and he didn't go in team period. The only thing that Aaron Anderson did was go through individual drills. and was out there with Cortez Hankton the whole time. Again, he's going through everything. I just think that they're keeping him out and keeping him in bubble wrap. Yeah, back-to-back drops, and BK started getting a little chirpy here. It started pissing him off. So as this goes on, you're going to see as to why. Chris Hilton on an in route for 17 yards. Guys, right now, your number one receiver right now, outside of taking Aaron Anderson out, with Aaron Anderson being out, your number one wide receiver right now is Chris Hilton. It is not close. Yet it's not close. Had the most consistent days stringing together. He looks really good. An in route for 17 yards, separates himself from Mansour Delane. And if A.J. Halsey does not come and clean it up here, then it was going for 7. Mansour got really beat on that one by Chris. It was bad. Like, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 steps, and I'm not joking. A.J. Halsey gets off of his route to make the play. But, man, Chris ran a really, really good route there and got 17 yards. Quick slant by Xavier Thomas is dropped. Let me go to the next one. So, Xavier, after the really good play by Chris Hilton, it gets dropped. The quick end by Thomas is dropped. Nick Anderson on an in route. It's also dropped. Just not a great day, man. I mean, you got 4 drops in 5 plays. I mean, it just was not a good day. Brian Kelly then lost his godforsaken mind. I mean, he should. It's just way too many drops. Did not look good. Barryon Brown on a fade route covered by P.J. Woodland is out of bounds. Just no way that Barryon could have made a play on there. Woodland on a PBU on an out route to Barryon Brown gets knocked away. P.J. keeps making some plays, man. He keeps making some plays. Again, I think the staff is really starting to really like P.J. Woodland. Got to get some weight on, but P.J.'s done some really good things. Harlan Berry goes in the flat from Garrett Nussmeier. Ball hits his hands. It goes up into the air, and Mansour Delane has a diving interception. Second pick of the day for Mansour Delane. I think Garrett has looked good in these reps. I think 13 looked pretty exceptional. I thought he made some really good throws, but it just receivers were not locked in. And BK chimed into this, and he was pretty pissed off because after the interception, it just didn't stop. You had Jelani Watkins on an in rail that got dropped. Durham in the flat, it got dropped. And then the very next pass, Whit Weeks tipped one in the air, and Deshaun Spears almost came down with a pick. Just sloppy 7-on-7. Very sloppy. They blew it dead, and they went in the tent, and they took a break, which they've done every day in every camp under BK. And a 7-on-7 was really, really bad. And again, I told you in the beginning, I'm going to say it again, Garrett made some really good throws. I just don't think one day I'm going to determine based off of this receiving core that's been really good and consistent with coming down with the ball. I'm just not going to make the determination right now that I'm going to put this as a one-off. Because outside of Chris Hilton, really, he was the most consistent. And you got to keep 3 in bubble wrap. It wasn't a good day. It just wasn't a good day, and 7-on-7 ended that way, and it is what it is. When it's that bad, this is how I feel like I go about it. Let's monitor it. If it happens again, we'll talk about it. I just don't anticipate that it will, and I hope that we're able to come out here and say that it's not going to happen. Just a bad overall day. All right, let's get to some team periods. Ones versus ones. So, in 11-on-11, ones versus ones, LSU started off in the goal line. This was a big period for me. The reason it was a very big period is how bad you were in the red zone a year ago. Guys, if you watched any LSU football game a season ago, you know that one of the biggest Achilles heels for them last season was getting in the red zone and getting points. I know Joe Sloan made this a talking point yesterday in his press conference, and we're going to address it. He said, yards don't matter, points do. I wonder where I've heard that saying before. Go watch early days when it's all I talked about during the Ed Orgeron era. Oh, man, we had 450 yards. Who gives a flying shit if you got 450 yards? If you can't score, nothing's going to happen. I think right now on one of the biggest struggles or two of the biggest struggles that we've seen, we've already seen the run game have some issues. Now we got to see the red zone, which we got to see today. Let's get to it because it was just wasn't great either. Offensively, outside of Kane Durham. A fade route to Bauer Sharp, who was split out wide, is incomplete. Bad throw, was out of bounds. No way anyone could come down with it. And if your guy can't come down with it, no one needs to. So I guess not really that bad of a play. Wild Tiger is the second play. You know what the Wildcat is. Garrett Nussmeier in a two-back personnel with Juwan Johnson and Caleb Jackson. I've seen reports out there that said the running back was Jelani Watkins. Jelani Watkins at no point today, outside of a couple of motions here and there, was in any situation in these Wild Tiger situations. It was Juwan Johnson and Caleb Jackson. But Garrett Nussmeier is under center in a two-back set. So imagine a quarterback and one quarterback under center, another quarterback like in what would look like a shotgun position with a running back to his right. That's what Juwan Johnson was, the second alignment of what quarterback would look like. Caleb Jackson was to his right. You had 12 personnel with two tight ends. You had a receiver and 22 personnel, excuse me. Two tight ends, two running backs, I guess, technically what you would call it. And then you had Garrett Nussmeier from under center, then motion out wide. So then I guess technically going into a situation where you're back in 12 personnel. However they want to label it. But I'm going to classify it as 22 personnel. So you have a situation where you have the Wild Tiger. Everyone all offseason had made the question of, man, and I saw people in LSU media this week talking about this. I told you when we were with Carter, I told you on this show, I want you to be able to find out if you can run the football the right way before we start getting cute. If you can run the football and you're really good at running the football, then you can get cute. But hey, practice is when you find out if you got something here with this quote-unquote Wild Tiger. Direct snap to Juwan Johnson. He tries to go up the middle and gets bounced out to the left. And when he does, Mansour Delane runs him down and tackles him to the ground for no gain. They were all over it. The entire defensive front seven knew the run was coming and reacted to it accordingly. They didn't respect them throwing the football one iota. And that's why when he bounced it out left and tried to get to the very outside, Mansour Delane ran him down and tackled him at the line of scrimmage for no gain. They ain't going to respect you until Juwan Johnson throws the football. That is unfortunate, but these kids are out here competing and wanting to play and wanting to start. And if they have an advantage and you're going to give them an advantage, they're going to take hold of that advantage because why not? I would have loved the goal line situation where we're lining up trying to get 5 fucking yards, to be real with you. For me, I don't like getting fancy until you need to get fancy. I don't think that I don't mind repping it, but man, get a rep of it in. They would run it multiple times. Went absolutely nowhere. Play action, under center from Garrett Nussmeier in 22 personnel. A flat route to Trey'Dez Green is broken up by A.J. Halsey for no gain or for an incompletion. Durham on an outside zone run to the left breaks a tackle from Mansour Delane and is off to the races from 15 yards out and a score. Guys, outside of explosive run plays by Kane Durham, you're getting nothing going in the run game. Give it to 29 and hope to pray to God that he does the heroic shit he's been doing all camp. I mean, stiff arms Mansour Delane, gets him to the ground, breaks a tackle, goes to the outside and scores. on a basic outside zone run. That's what I want to see more of. Now, let me stop right here. If you can't run the ball in the red zone, you ain't going anywhere. And if Caden Durham can find ways to do what he did, like against South Carolina, and what he did today, then, guys, you're going to win a lot of football games. Very, very good run by Caden Durham on the outside zone run. Goes for a touchdown on a broken tackle by Delane. Put a couple stars next to that when it was a beautiful play. And then once he broke the tackle, guys, no one could catch him. Perk was trailing, and Perk couldn't catch him. A.J. Halsey couldn't catch him. So really, really good play there by Caden Durham. Caleb Jackson on the inside dive with the first unit. Got hit about 2 yards in and kept pushing the pile. I love it. Get hit, run the feet, get 7. But a really, really 7 or 8. Really good run by Caleb Jackson here. MVP would come on the second, not this next one, but the 2 more. I thought MVP came in there. But Caleb Jackson with the first unit, yes. Nussmeier play action to a flat Trey-Dez Green drop in the end zone. Wide ass open. Lack of focus, man. Ball was at his knees. I get it. No, the route was the pass was not thrown great. You got to catch it, man. You got to catch it. It's a touchdown. I mean, you got to be athletic enough to catch it. If you're going to go 22 personnel, then your guys got to catch the football. But play action, spider 2 wide banana was the joke that I was making on the sidelines with the media. Gets dropped. Michael Van Buren comes in. Play action, same exact play to Trey-Dez Green in the chest, touchdown. Javian Toviano in coverage. I mean, got to get the ball up, I guess, but you got to make both plays. But they came right back to it. So all in all, I don't think I think a very even series for the offense and defense here. I thought it was split. I mean, it did end with Devon Keys coming in for Wes Weeks, and the inside run by Caden Durham is absolutely just demolished by Donovan Keys. First time we really called his name, but a beautiful run. I thought it was pretty split. LSU at the end of this, and I put a note inside the message board on this. The next 3 plays, LSU would try to do this wild tiger again. Don't mind it, I guess. But guys, it just went absolutely nowhere. They tried to do a couple of zone reads. They motion Nuss out. They put Nuss on the side, just lined him out as a receiver. Guys, they just don't respect it. And you're not going to get a good look because everybody on your team knows what's coming. Just got nowhere. Caleb Jackson had nowhere to go on the zone read. Juwan Johnson had nowhere to go on these quarterback runs. Nobody respected any of it. And the thing is everybody's going to know what you're doing here. So if you can't get it now, you got to figure something out. The God's honest truth is you got to, when you do it, you got to let him throw the football at least once in the flat. You got to let him run the ball at least once in the flat. Give him an easy throw. Put Chris Hilton out wide, motion his ass, get the ball if you're Juwan Johnson, let Caleb Jackson be a lead blocker, and roll right, throw the ball in the flat, give him one route. Like, hey, either throw it away, run for some yardage, or throw it to Chris Hilton, but let people respect that he'll throw the football. We've seen literally so many teams do that. Hell, LSU did it with a freaking tight end and Mason Taylor against Bama in 22. Motion him in, motion him out. Let's roll right, throw, catch, 2-point conversion, good. You win the West. They're not going to respect you until he throws that football. That is the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. I mean, it's going nowhere. And the reason I'm passionate about this one is because I feel like we're in a place in time where I just want you to try to run the ball. I don't want to be cute. Are there periods and times that you can figure that out? Yes. Maybe today was that day. You got to continue to show that you can run the football and gain some stuff with your guys on offense. It's the first time we saw you go on goal line. I just don't think this is going anywhere with I don't think it's going anywhere right now. You can't keep running it out there. They're not going to respect it. And listen, I love Garrett, but there comes a point in time, if you're going to go this wild tiger, take his happy ass out and put a receiver in there that you could do something with. Don't let Garrett be at wide receiver. Jawan is a good enough thrower where if shit absolutely breaks down and has been at the position, throw the ball away, do whatever. Get a guy that runs a 4-2 out there and let him get to the edge on somebody and see if anybody can run him down. But it's not working. I got Caleb Jackson going on an inside dive for 7 to 8 yards. Put your head down and let's get to work. So we'll see. Second unit, by the way. Oh, shit. We didn't finish with the first unit. So they were done with goal line. Let's flip it. LSU starts a drive from the 25-yard line. They went 3 and out twice. So 2 drives from the 25-yard line, trying to go in and score in 2 minutes. They got 3 and out both times. False start, the entire offensive line. Oh, excuse me. Let me back up. First play, Pyburn sack or Nuss throws away. Nuss rolled left. Under pressure by Jack Pyburn. I give Pyburn the sack or Bernard Gooden the sack. Nuss rolls left, throws the ball away. That's the first play here. Weston Davis, false start. Let me stop right here. There's a lot of false starts in these 11-on-11 periods. Bernard Gooden was clapping his hands and drawing them off. It's a penalty in the game if it keeps happening. At the end of the practice, Garrett and 88 got into it, and they should have. Because that's just Bush League. Let your guys get the reps. But you got a false start by Weston Davis that backs you up to 2nd and 15. Quick pass to Chris Hilton, a quick screen that is read out very quickly. No idea what we're doing here, but a quick screen with nobody to block for Chris. Goes for nothing. Jay Jackson on the stop for no gain. Third down. You got a scramble left by Nuss. He was under immense pressure. Nobody is open. He runs for 7 yards and you punt. Just horrible series, man. Horrible series. They would flip it. They go to the opposite 25-yard line. First team. False start, the entire offensive line. Somebody on that D-line's clapping and drawing them off. Just completely horrible. Here, the bubble screen goes for 3. Thomas on the stop. So you have an offensive line false start, goes for 3. You got 2nd and 12. And then Chris Hilton gets a hitch route for about 8-9 yards, and you're on 3rd down. Scramble by Garrett Nussmeier. The ball is thrown away. He's under immense pressure by Bernard Gooden, Patrick Payton, and Gabe Relaford. He scrambled away from it. He scrambled left and got away and threw the ball away. I guess because they were trying to give the offense another down here to try to get something moving, they gave him an extra down. They gave him 3rd and 1 again. On the very next play, Garrett Nussmeier tries to throw a quick out to Xavion Thomas where Patrick Payton gets his hand up, knocks the ball down, and we're punting again. I mean, you had some false starts. I get it, but you had a sack to start off one of these series. You don't try to run the football in a 2-minute drill, which you still have enough time. Hilton gets a couple of quick passes that really don't go for much, but the hitch route was good. And you got a couple of under pressures and throwaways, and guys, you went 3 and out and you punted both times. Just complete dominance. Second team. Carius Kern with a false start gets pulled after a second false start in back-to-back plays. Nick Anderson on an out route. DJ Pickett for 9 yards. Pickett, PBU on the very next play. Nick Anderson on a hitch route. He knocks it away. Very physical on Nick Anderson there too. Ori Williams with a false start. Somebody on that D-line was clapping their hands, man. I'm telling you, I could hear it. So I don't know what happened there. Nick Anderson, fade route. Michael Van Buren missed out of bounds. Caleb Jackson, run for 9. Really good run, physical run by Caleb Jackson. Carius Kern, false start again, then got pulled. Barry on a dive for 7 yards. A.J. Halsey with a very big hit, kind of depleted him literally a little bit. And then Donovan Green on an out route got dropped, and the practice was over. So all in all, I thought the defense did win the day. Some really good stuff, just lackadaisical stuff in the goal line, lackadaisical stuff in 7-on-7, and defense won the period again. I do think the offensive line stood up better, and I think that Nuss has got to step up in the pocket a little bit more, make some of the throws, but there were some drops in there too. So defensive period 1. All right. That is the end of the practice period. Let me do this. Let me recollect myself. We're going to take a quick break. I see some super chats up in here we'll read, and I'll get to some observations and opinions, and then we'll take some more of your questions and then get on out of here. Let me take a break. Stay with us.
Hey, Southwest Louisiana. Are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat? Go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. We're back.
All right. As we close out here, Mr. LSU fan for life with a $10 super chat says Garrett is a tough kid. He will be fine. Look, he battled today, man. He very much battled today. I mean, it does show a lot of toughness. I mean, it's not like anybody's going to beat him out. I mean, this offense has been struggling, and he needed to get out there and make some stuff happen. So, yeah, I agree. JJ with a $10 super chat says, how's DJ Pickett looking? I think this gets better every day, really. Gets better every day. I think there's been some times when he's run with the ones like against Chris Hilton. Chris is just, giving him the business, and you got a first-time freshman and a senior that are going up against one another, and one's got 5 years on him. Going on 5 years. Or year 5. I think he's been physical with Nick Anderson. I think he's looked good. I don't know. Here's what I'd say. I know that there's been some scuttlebutt about him, starting with the ones right now. Again, as of right now, I don't know how you pull Stamps, Delane, Jackson, Woodland.
because when they've run with the first team, he hadn't been out there. Let's see what happens there, and we'll figure it out. But I think he's looked good. Serene with a $2 super chat says, did Juwan get out there at running back? In individual drills, yes. In individual drills, he does some running back stuff and does quarterback stuff. A lot of times just taking some reps with the running backs too, and he's been in both. There have been times in this camp they've lined him up at running back. Yeah. I would assume that he's going to go to that room, to be real with you. He's not going to get reps at quarterback. I mean, it's just not going to happen for him. I know that's what he wants to do, but he's just not going to do it at LSU. Not right now, he's not. So if he wants any form of playing time, he's either going to have to go back to defense or he's going to have to go back, or he's going to have to go to running back. So we'll see. Bishop Gary Hawkins sends us a $2 super chat. Thank you, Bishop. I completely appreciate that. He also sends this too. You never mentioned Whit Weeks. How's his camp? I think, Bishop, what I'd say here is that, well, we did mention him earlier in 7-on-7. He got a tip pass in the air that almost got picked by Deshaun Spears. I think he's been fine. I mean, this defensive line has really done some wrecking, really. When you're out in coverage, we're never calling him because nobody's around, right? Meaning they're not throwing it at him. You're right. We hadn't, because there hadn't been much to talk about, really. I think I think the front seven has looked pretty good, really. I mean, the front seven has been the best part of your camp so far. I mean, offense is struggling. So in reference to Whit Weeks, I would just say that, yeah, we're not calling his name because, quite honestly, there hadn't really been a reason to. There's nothing that they're doing to expose him. Excuse me. So yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, let's get to some observations and opinions. Look, some quick ones of these. When we do these observations and opinions, again, I just say this is a one-game practice size. So let's go from there. Number one, way too many false starts for this offensive line. Way too many drops. I have mentioned that already. If it continues to happen, we will talk about it more. In a one-day sample size, I'm just not going to freak out over it at all. It is alarming, the amount that you had, but let me not say it's alarming. It definitely stands out. It will start becoming alarming when it continues to happen. Just not going to overreact to it right now. So that's number one of the observation today. Number two for me, I think A.J. Halsey and Deshaun Spears has got to start at safety. Tamarcus Cooley did make a couple of plays today. So did Deshaun Spears. I'm rolling with number 10 if he can figure it out quickly. I do think you're going to see a rotation of 10 and 0 at free safety. I don't know why they're running anybody out there with not the number ones, not named A.J. Halsey, but it is what it is. I think those two guys continue to make plays, and you got to put them there. I did think the offensive line looked better. There was pressure on Nuss today, some, yes. Not enough to where he couldn't complete some stuff. I thought they held up well. I mean, there were some tackles for no gain. There were some really big runs, one by Caden Durham. You got an 8-yard run by Caleb Jackson. They did some good things. I'll give them that. They held up in some situations. I think Garrett was a little timid, which is a whole nother observation. I thought 13 was timid today. We have not seen that from him a lot. Today, I felt like he was really timid to step up in that pocket and let one rip, and I completely understand as to why. So we'll see. The reason I saved this super chat because I wanted to get to it here. So Special Tick says a $10 super chat says offensive panic meter 1 through 10. Right now, I'd probably give it about a 6 right now. Guys, you went 3 and out twice. You outside of Caden Durham making some explosive runs and some explosive plays, you haven't really got the running game going. Right now, if you're not going to Chris Hilton, there have just been times where this defense has locked you down. If you're not going to 29 and you're not going to number 3, you're really not getting a lot of offensive production. I would say about a 6.
I mean, you're a week and a half into this, 2 weeks into this. The thing that starts alarming me a little is, man, I didn't in spring and I didn't in fall. I haven't seen a period where they have just taken over the practice. Like it does not exist. It doesn't exist. So, fucking, I forgot about the Barry M. Brown drop over the deep over the middle of one of the 11-on-11s. LSU posted a video, looked like he did make the catch, and I'll give it to him. Outside of the Barry-on, outside of the Chris Hilton plays, you just didn't get much going. They got to figure it out quickly because either this defense is really good and you're playing against each other. I mean, it just doesn't look great right now, really and truthfully. Probably a 6. Probably 6. I just wish we could get an 11-on-11 period and one day they just go out there and roast somebody. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about against the 2s. Guys, you're starting week 2. You know what I mean? Run a fade route to Chris Hilton and see what happens. Can we? You're going to do it in the game. And listen, some of this is, just personnel getting beat. I mean, it's just the truth. So, yeah. Caden Durham. I think Caden had a really special day. Really. Looks explosive, looks good. Got to keep him upright and hope that he can make some explosive plays against Clemson. Michael Van Buren, I thought he had his best day. I really did. Thought Michael Van Buren looked pretty sharp today. Really good to see number 11 look sharp. Goal line. Run the ball. I don't think that anybody's going to give you respect until Juwan Johnson in this wild tiger formation starts throwing. He throws the football once, then they'll respect it. Until then, they're just not going to respect it. Take Garrett Nussmeier out of the game, please. Take him out of the game if you're going to do that, because get somebody that's faster and more athletic out there. If we're going to be creative, let's get creative in this hoe. A couple more. Stamps, Gooden, Park, Moore, Durham. Just Delane. Those guys just keep standing out to me, man. Stamps, Gooden, Park, Moore, Durham, Delane. Those have been the guys that have won the most. They've been the best. All in all, I still think it was a good day. I think that they need a break, really and truthfully. You could tell they're wearing it a little. Guys, for me, now that we're getting into this, I need to see the offense do some more stuff. There could be a situation where there's a couple of situations that can be happening here. Number one, Blakett's practice. And when they get in the game, things will get cleaned up. Number two, this defense is going to be pretty good. Or number three, we just don't, there are other teams that are out there and we don't know. And if you play them, man, they might whip our ass. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it right now, really. Too early, I guess. But defenses look good, man. They've looked good, and I don't know if this is going to translate or not. I know Brian Kelly keeps saying if you're going to go up to Clemson, you better bring a defense. Well, yeah, I think you're going to – I hope that you bring one, but you're going to need to bring some points with you too. You're going to need to bring some points with you too. All right, a couple more super chats in here. Chili says freshman DTs and Dylan Carpenter, thoughts? Hadn't seen much of them, really, especially freshman defensive tackles. Chili, I'll be real with you. I don't spend a lot of time with any of the freshmen because it just takes away reps with the ones. Dylan Carpenter hadn't been bad. He's just going to get eaten alive in reference to playing time with that depth chart. Kalaj Cobbins is the other edge guy that we don't talk a lot about that will go out there with ones and twos and get reps.
and especially in pass rush downs. Hadn't seen much from the freshman DTs in any periods, nor have they given them a shot, really. The defensive tackles have been Sadir Mitchell, Dominic McKinley, Bro, and Bernard Gooden, and Jacoby and Guillory. Those have been your 5. No other real DTs are getting substituting in and out of there. Jalen Carpenter's been fine. I mean, he did some things with the 2s today. Kind of the Jack Pyburn, when Jack Pyburn's not in there at edge. Been physical, done some good things. I don't think anything that really stands out right now. All right. We're out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh, no, we won't see you tomorrow unless you're on Rufino and Joe. We'll see y'all on Monday. But all along, I think good practice. Defense just continues to make plays. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Peace.